Okay, so it's finally time to put my seats back together, and I'm not going to show every single step because I have other videos showing how I disassembled the seats completely, but I think there'll be some good tips in here for fixing things and putting stuff back together. And also, basically, I got some seats out of the junkyard. However, the driver's seat on the van was like completely ruined, and I actually grabbed one of the rear seats because the cushions look exactly the same, and then I can just mix and match the parts from my original seats and make a driver and passenger seat.
You pretty much just put everything back together in reverse order. I'm not going to replace the bottom Velcro because there's enough on here, and I already tried it and it sticks pretty well. It's a good idea to put a plastic bag over the Velcro. That's probably all you need, as long as you can pull it out the back. That way you can get it all in place before you push down the Velcro, so you're not moving it around. All right, see how it's all kind of loose? It doesn't look as good. It's because that Velcro isn't sticking. But as soon as we pull this out, it should stick. I also had to make a new little hole because I guess this was in a different location for some weird reason. But it's interesting, it had a cutout for the foam, just not the fabric. So I just poked it through with a screwdriver, and you don't see this area anyways, it's all hidden. The Velcro is stuck down in there. You can see it doesn't want to come up. And I actually put a little bit of foam back here, just from one of the old seat covers. There was like a little gap right here. I'm not sure if it'll look that great, but this one has it too. It's like a little gap, but just put a little foam back there and it should be all right. All right, guys, I'm putting one of these seats back together, and here's the seat back foam. As you can tell, the Velcro hook part came off. Actually, just a little bit of it came off, but I kind of peeled the rest off. And these two down here, all the little hooks are pretty much ripped out, and there's not much left for the Velcro to stick on there. Let's go ahead and peel these off carefully. I just got some rolls of 2-inch Velcro, and check this out. This is the hook part. Fits in there perfect. All right, let's cut out 3 strips. To attach the Velcro strips, I'm just going to use some 3M Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive. Make sure it's shaken up really good. And we'll vacuum any junk that's in there. And we'll spray it. And of course, spray the backs of the Velcro. I'm just using the old seat cushion bottom. And you don't want to attach it when it's wet. It's still wet. We'll just let it dry up a little bit until it gets tacky. All right, once it feels tacky, like right there, it's kind of real sticky feeling, then you know it's ready. These strips, lay it in there. Like, it's not gonna wanna come back out of there once you stick it. Stuff is pretty cool. All right, it's the next day and it should be completely dry. Let's see if we can pick the whole thing up. Look at that. It's not coming off at all. That Super 77 is pretty sweet. Make sure to put a little bit of white lithium grease on this pivot bolt. Pull this bag out. So just like the seat cushion that I kind of filled in with that extra seat foam over there, this one has a little void of seat foam backing here as well. It has something to do with that Velcro. But I'm just gonna stuff some of this back there. This is the stuff you use for like pillows, stuff like that, and see if that works. Yeah, that looks pretty good. The power driver's seat is almost the same, except it has 4 bolts on each side of the trim instead of 3. The seat movement controls and the lumbar support is integrated into the plastic trim. And I actually got a new seat control from the junkyard that's not missing the knob. The movement control buttons disconnect under the seat here, and it's got 2 tabs on each side. And same thing as the passenger for the lumbar support controller. Just has a little tab. And this is probably why the lumbar support didn't work on the driver's side, but it's an easy fix. We probably don't even have to replace the hose. There's enough slack here, so we could probably just cut it and then use the next section. And the harnesses just pull out. Movement controller is held on by 2 Phillips and then just unclips on the sides. And the lumbar support just unclips. The seat back is exactly the same. The seat base is similar, but a little bit different. 2 bolts right here, and then 2 bolts right here, which are a little harder to get to. It'd probably be a little bit easier to get to that one if you move the seat. I got the power supply hooked up, and this is a great time to test out the new switch block and to raise it up so we can get to that bolt a little easier. The wire colors on this switch block were a bit different than the original. However, it still works just fine. I love how many adjustments are on this thing. There we go. Bolts off with the impact. And we should be able to, pull this right off. We will want to remove this connector so we can separate the track from the seat cushion frame. And just like the manual seats, there's 4 10mm bolts all the way around. The cushion and the rest of the seat seems to be exactly the same for the most part. There is no difference in the seat cushion frame, just that this one has the lumbar support and wiring harness, and this one doesn't. It's even got the same cutouts, because it really doesn't make sense for Ford to make 2 separate parts. They could just make a single part to accommodate all the options. See that the seat cushions are the exact same. It's not a bad idea to go ahead and lubricate the tracks and the gears, and then run it back and forth a few times. You do have to remove this little flap on the cushion that didn't have lumbar support. And we also need to cut a slit where the controls go. It may not have to be as big. It's big enough to get the connectors and pipes through.
So I thought it was pretty unique how these seats have the cutout around the headrest. And before I put the seat back on, I actually ran a negative and positive wire. And on the trim piece, I lined up two little marks evenly, and I drilled those out to fit these little LED clips. And I have these little 12-volt LEDs. So basically I clipped those in and kind of hot glued the wires around, and then installed a connector. That way I can easily remove it in case I ever have to replace any of these LEDs. And then I carefully installed the trim piece, making sure the wire is routed pretty well, and then I installed the 4 Phillips screws. And these seats are now done, and I can power on the LEDs, and I think it looks so cool, like something out of a science fiction spaceship. And of course I'm gonna have these wired in so they come on with the door lights, and I think it'll be pretty unique. All right, I got it pretty much all back together, and I actually used the old gray trim just because it was in better shape, and everything's fixed. The armrests work perfectly and all that good stuff. I just like having them all nice and clean compared to what they were originally.